Today's story takes us straight into the heart of Buckingham Palace, a royal crisis that's shaking the very foundations of the British monarchy. King Charles has made one of the most controversial decisions of his reign so far, officially stripping Prince Andrew of all his royal titles and honors. The reason? The resurfacing of shocking abuse allegations tied to the late Virginia Giuffre, and a scandal that refuses to fade away. Let's dive into what really happened, what this means for the royal family, and why this could mark the final downfall of Prince Andrew. Part 1. The official announcement. On Friday, October 31st, Buckingham Palace released a statement that stunned both the British public and royal watchers around the world. King Charles formally began the process of removing all of Prince Andrew's titles, styles, and honors. That means Andrew is no longer His Royal Highness the Duke of York. From now on, he will be known simply as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, a private citizen with no official royal standing. In the statement, the king emphasized that while his brother continues to deny the allegations against him, these actions are necessary to uphold the integrity of the monarchy. But perhaps the most striking part of the message came when His Majesty expressed utmost sympathies for the victims and survivors of abuse, a direct reference, many believe, to Virginia Giuffre herself. It's a rare and powerful move. The British monarchy rarely issues such direct comments on scandals, especially involving members of their own family. Part 2. Who was Virginia Giuffre? To understand why this case has resurfaced with such force, we need to revisit Virginia Giuffre's story. Virginia was one of the victims of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In her 2021 memoir, Nobody's Girl, she wrote that she had been trafficked as a teenager and forced to have sexual encounters with Prince Andrew on 3 occasions in the early 2000s, when she was under 18. She claimed these encounters happened in London, New York, and Epstein's private island. The allegations first became public in 2015, sending shockwaves through the royal family. Andrew vehemently denied everything, insisting he had no recollection of ever meeting Virginia, despite the now famous photograph of him with his arm around her waist. In 2022, the Duke of York quietly settled the lawsuit out of court, paying an undisclosed sum reported to be around £12 million, though he admitted no wrongdoing. Virginia later withdrew from public life, but tragically, she passed away earlier this year at the age of 41. Her death, ruled a suicide, has reignited public anger and grief, especially among those who believed her story. Part 3. The King's Dilemma. For King Charles, this was not just a family matter, it was a test of leadership and accountability. Since ascending to the throne in 2022, Charles has worked tirelessly to modernize the monarchy, emphasizing transparency, service, and moral responsibility. Yet, as many royal experts point out, the Andrew scandal has been a constant shadow, a wound that refused to heal. Public confidence in the monarchy had already been tested by controversies surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, as well as growing calls for a more accountable royal family. According to a 2024 YouGov poll, 62% of Britons believed Prince Andrew should be permanently removed from royal duties, while only 9% felt he deserved a second chance. King Charles clearly took that sentiment seriously. His decision, though painful, appears aimed at protecting the institution, not the individual. Part 4. The impact on the royal family. Behind palace doors, this decision is said to have caused deep emotional strain. Royal sources suggest that Prince William supported his father's move, viewing it as necessary for the future stability of the crown. Queen Camilla, known for her pragmatic influence, reportedly urged the king to act decisively before the scandal grew worse. Meanwhile, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, Andrew's daughters, are said to be devastated but understanding. Both have been seen keeping a low profile, focusing on their families and charitable work. One royal biographer, Richard Fitzwilliams, commented that, "This is not just the loss of a title, it's the loss of identity, privilege, and legacy." For Andrew, who once served proudly in the Royal Navy and as the UK's special representative for trade and investment, this is effectively the end of his public life. Part 5. Public reaction. The public response has been a mix of relief and skepticism. Many praised King Charles for finally taking a firm stand. Others, however, questioned why it took so long, considering the allegations have been public for nearly a decade. On social media, hashtags like #JusticeForVirginia and #AbolishTheMonarchy have trended again, showing that the debate over royal accountability is far from over. Even British lawmakers have weighed in. A few members of parliament argue that, if the monarchy wishes to survive in the modern world, it must hold its own members to the same moral standards as everyone else. So here's a question for you, dear viewers. Do you think King Charles made the right decision by stripping Prince Andrew of his titles? Or should family come before public image? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Part 6. A legacy tarnished. Let's not forget that before this scandal, Prince Andrew was often seen as the fun-loving royal, a decorated military officer, known for his bravery during the Falklands War and his close bond with Queen Elizabeth II. But over the years, his judgment came under fire, from his questionable friendships with wealthy businessmen to his infamous connection with Epstein. The BBC interview in 2019, where he tried to defend himself, only made things worse. His awkward responses, like claiming he couldn't sweat, became the subject of public ridicule. Since then, Andrew has lived a largely secluded life at the Royal Lodge in Windsor, rarely appearing in public. Many experts say he's been living in exile within the family. With the King's latest decision, that isolation has now become permanent. Part 7. What happens next? So, what's next for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor? Without titles or royal privileges, he'll likely continue to live on private funds. Some reports suggest he may soon be asked to vacate the Royal Lodge, a property he's occupied for decades. His security detail, once funded by taxpayers, could also be withdrawn, saving the UK government hundreds of thousands of pounds annually. Meanwhile, King Charles is expected to redirect attention toward rebuilding the monarchy's image, focusing on Prince William and Princess Catherine as symbols of a new, responsible royal generation. Internationally, this move may also improve the monarchy's credibility, especially in the Commonwealth countries that have long questioned its relevance. Part 8. A broader conversation about accountability. Beyond the palace walls, this case opens up a much bigger question. How should society deal with powerful figures accused of wrongdoing? For decades, royal scandals were hushed, hidden, or quietly settled. But today, with social media and global awareness, silence is no longer an option. Victims demand to be heard, and justice demands visibility. By publicly acknowledging the pain of victims, King Charles may be signaling a new era, one where the monarchy no longer hides behind tradition, but faces its controversies head-on. Still, cynics wonder if this statement is too little, too late. After all, true justice for Virginia Giuffre can no longer be achieved in this life. Part 9. Final thoughts. This story is more than just royal gossip. It's a reminder that no institution, no matter how ancient or powerful, is above accountability. King Charles's decision to strip Prince Andrew of his titles marks a defining moment for the modern British monarchy. It's a signal that moral responsibility must outweigh blood ties, that the crown's reputation can only endure if it reflects the values of the people it represents. So what do you think? Will this move help restore trust in the royal family, or has the damage already been done? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear your take on this. And remember, in the end, justice isn't just about punishment. It's about truth, empathy, and learning from the past. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories from inside the palace walls, where every crown has a shadow.